And we're going to start the practice this evening with the eyes closed. So I'm going to stay seated so that I can talk to you. But I want you to start the practice this evening making sure that as much of the body is in contact with the floor as you can. So laying completely flat on the floor, uncrossing the legs, maybe taking them slightly wide. Hi Emma. We've just started. We're just going to start in laying down position on your back. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I think I've muted people. Yeah. So start and lay down on your back. Close down the eyes. And this evening I'm going to talk us through a really chilled, slow down practice before we go to sleep this evening. So before we do anything, before we move, before we breathe, I just want you to see if you can really arrive on the mat, or if you're like me and you're practicing from the bed, and just close down the eyes. Start to bring your awareness to the present moment. And just check in with yourself today as to where your mind is. Often it can be busy all day, every day. And part of the yoga practice is just to acknowledge that that is normal. Try not to stop it. But just making sure that before we start to move the body and the breath, we're just noticing how the body feels. Noticing what kind of energy you bring into the practice this evening. And because this is a deeply relaxing, restoring practice, I'm going to work with the concept this evening of surrendering and letting go. So whatever it is that you feel as if you're carrying, that maybe you feel as if you need to let go, you need to learn how to carry maybe, just bringing that gently to your awareness. An option here to set yourself an intention. So we've got 60 minutes to really connect with the inner chill, the inner zen, whatever it means to you to feel really grounded and balanced. But just setting yourself an intention silently in your mind, maybe why you're practicing this evening. What kind of negative energies you feel as if you need to let go of. Or maybe what type of negative energy you're trying to keep at bay. And then before we start to move the body, just taking a mental scan of the body from the head, noticing any sensations in the scalp, the forehead, the ears, down to the neck, the shoulders. Feeling the weight of the arms into the floor. Start to notice the chest as it rises and falls with the breath. The weight of the hips, all the internal organs, the lower back, and then the weight of the legs. And then just silently repeating to yourself in your mind, I'm completely present in the moment. If your attention starts to wander in the next 60 minutes, try not to get too frustrated. That's what we're built to do. We're built to be busy. We're in a world where we're constantly stimulated visually, mentally, emotionally. Just see if you can bring your awareness back to that comment and just repeat it silently in your head. I am completely present in the moment. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring both of the knees towards the chest. So making sure the shoulders are nice and heavy into the ground. Just hug the knees towards the chest, and then we're going to start to draw circles. So hands on each knee. And then I want you to try and see if you can draw the knees away from each other in the opposite direction. So knees apart and then come together at the top, and then big circles. So really just trying to loosen up into the hip joints. Take it as fast or slow as you want. There's no kind of right or wrong in yin, especially not in the classes that I teach. It's absolutely pointless trying to do a practice that's good for me but bad for you. You need to just listen to your body and just do what feels right. And then gently change direction. So take the knees away from you, round in circles, and then towards you. Nice big circles. Again, take it slow or fast, whatever your body's feeling this evening. One big more circle with the knees, and then you're going to drop the feet to the ground. You're going to place your hands on your stomach, almost as if your hands are like your ribs. So just above the belly button. If you want, you can take a deep breath in so you can feel where the ribs flare up. Place your hands on top of the ribs either side. Close down the eyes if you feel comfortable. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then just soften your gaze and pick a point up in front of you. And then before we do anything in yin, we have to connect to the breath. We are nothing without the breath. And in yoga, we are uniting the breath and movement. So pose is not the goal. The pose is to be present. Sorry, the aim is to be present in the pose. And we can only be present if we connect with the breath. So on the next inhale, take a deep breath through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. At the top of your breath, hold your breath. Notice any sensations under the fingers as the ribs start to hold that breath in. And then exhale out and release. And again, inhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top of the breath. Drop the shoulders into the ground as you hold your breath. Relax the jaw, relax the forehead, and exhale. Inhaling deeply. Hold the breath. And then exhale. Let's do 5 more rounds of this. So we're going to inhale deeply. As you hold the breath, see if you can really soften the shoulders. There's a tendency to hold the chest up and the shoulders towards the ears. Hold the breath in, but soften the shoulders. And then exhale. Inhale deeply. Hold at the top. Relax the eyebrows, relax the jaw. Exhale out. Inhale in. Hold. Soften. Exhale. Inhaling deeply. This time as you hold your breath, I want you to repeat that mantra in your mind. I am completely present in the moment. As you exhale, really feel the body soften and melt into the ground like butter in a pan. Inhaling deeply again, the last time. Hold at the top of the breath. And then exhale, release. We're going to use that breath for the rest of the practice this evening. So 3-way breath. We inhale, we hold, and we exhale. But I'm going to give you the option to pick how long you do it for. So you can do it for the count of 1, in, hold 1, exhale 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. And try not to rely too much on my count of the breath. Just find a pace that works for you. And then just listen to the cues that I do for the poses. So to start this evening for the poses, we're going to inhale and hug the knees in towards the chest. I want you to imagine that you're giving a hug to somebody that you like or love, and really give your knees a hug in. Really squeeze your knees to your chest, and then just very gently start to rock from left to right. Try not to make it too forceful, try and make it nice and soft. Massaging into that lower back, the kidneys, the adrenal glands, reaction to our fight or flight, stress response. Give them a little bit of a massage, sending fresh blood and oxygen there. And then when you're ready, come to a place of stillness. Keep the knees to the chest. And then as much as you can, keep the knees to the chest as you release the arms. And then release the legs to the sky. So you don't necessarily need to have straight legs here. If you can, then that's great. If not, just make sure that your ankles are above the knees. Close down the eyes. And the idea here is that we're doing an inversion, the blood flow for the legs. So in yin, we're working with the meridian lines, the chi energy lines. So just clearing out any blockages, changing the blood flow. And then I want you to just circle your ankles one direction and then change the opposite direction. You might find, for some reason, my left ankle can't go clockwise. You might find one is a little bit different than the other. Be a little bit curious. Remember, no right or wrong way to do yoga. Just listen to your body, connecting with the pose. Gently inhale the knees towards the chest. Release the feet back down to the mat. You're going to walk the feet away from each other and let the knees fall into center line. So knees, if you're on a mat, then your feet can be mat width and the knees in the center. And we're just going to start to release into the hips. So you can place your right hand on your right hip and your left on the left. And just start to notice and bring your awareness to what's happening in the left and the right hip. So we're having an inward rotation, internal rotation here. Something we quite often don't get in modern day life. We're either walking, sitting at a desk, cross-legged. They're all external rotations for the hips. We're just really letting the knees fall into center line. Connecting back in with the breath. So if you've got the song on the playlist that I'm listening to right now, it should be a gorgeous song called Faith's Hymn, which is somebody humming in and out. Connecting in with the sounds of the song or whatever sound it is that you're listening to. Use the sounds to connect with the breath. So inhale deeply, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. And with every exhale, we want to go a bit deeper into the pose. So as you continue to breathe in, hold, and exhale, just start to notice on the exhale what part of your body or your mind is holding on. Is it the part that wants to finish the class and do whatever's left on our to-do list? Is it the part that wants to move and stretch out the back or the neck? Bring it back to the present moment and complete stillness, and bring it back to the breath. Inhaling, hold, exhale out. Inhale, hold, exhale, and really feel the body melt with each exhale. The deeper we breathe, the deeper we relax. A deep breath in will literally click the switch in the vagus nerve, which is in the back of the neck. It will stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system. It will remind the body it's safe and can completely let go. And then when you're ready, very gently walk the feet back up to meet each other. Keeping the feet in line with the hips, you're going to lift the right leg to the sky. And then I want you to bend your right knee, place your right foot on the top of the left thigh. So the right knee's out to the side. You can even give it a little bit of a rock, a little bit of a push if you need to. And then we're going to come to a twist. So you've got an option here. You can either stay there if that's enough for you, or otherwise, you're going to place your arms out like a T. And then you're going to let your right foot, which is on top of your left thigh, you're going to let that foot fall over to the floor on the left. So the legs are getting a twist to the left. Look over to the right. An option to take a bit of an alignment cue, or make sure that you're taking it to a safe and deep level of a stretch. You can walk that left foot, when my legs are crossed, it's hard to tell what's left and right. You can walk your right foot towards the hips. So I just like to kind of pull the right foot a bit towards me. And then the right knee, make sure that it's nice and straight towards the sky. So we want that right hip to be nice and stretched open. Place the arms out like a T, look over the right shoulder. Find your place of stillness. And remember with yin, it might bring up some difficult sensations, some deep stretches. We need to work within them challenges, but never ever pain. So if something feels as if it's about to snap, it's about to really hurt, really painful, sharp, tingling, any of them negative connotations just come out of the pose slightly. And then use the breath to go a little bit deeper. So close down the eyes. Really let the head fall over to the right. So imagining you're trying to get your right ear on the ground. So we've got a nice stretch down the left side of the body as well. And then come back to the three-way breath. So as you inhale in, you feel the fresh oxygen coming through your nose. As you hold, you melt the shoulder blades into the floor. And as you exhale, you let that right hip relax a little bit more. It's completely natural for that right hip to be alive, awake, using all the muscles. Bring your awareness back to the breath and just see if you can relax the hip muscles a little bit further with each breath. If for any reason this doesn't feel quite right on the right hip, you can equally just bring your ankles and your knees together and twist to the left with the knees on top of each other. It's not a competition, it's not a rush, especially in yin. It's very slow. And that's where we can really find some peace, where we sit with the stillness. Maybe even sit with any dark feelings that come up. Just stare any of that right in the face. Just repeat silently in your mind, I'm completely present in the moment. Just acknowledging what's happening in the stomach here. So the legs are twisted over to the left. Imagining the stomach and the hips being twisted out like a wet sponge. We naturally pick up other people's energy, maybe energy that doesn't belong to us, maybe worry, anxiety, maybe past trauma or upset. All of these negative things are what we focus on in yoga, because the practice of yoga wants to try and get rid of all that negative energy so that we can see what's behind it, which is a feeling of well-being and peace. Just imagine all the negative emotions being twisted out through the hips. Take 2 more deep breaths here with your inhale. Hold. Exhale. 1 more round of breath. And then when you finish with that exhale, before you do anything, I just want to bring your head back to neutral. So we unwind really slow in yin. So first the head, and then bring the ankles together if they're not already. And then very gently bring the knees back up. Give the knees a hug in, and then just gently rock from side to side. So we're trying to reset the lower back. Make sure that it's okay before we move on to the next. And then gently place the feet back down, this time the opposite direction. So hands go out to a T. If that's not comfortable with the shoulders, feel free to put the hands down by the waist or the side of the hips, or even on the belly, wherever's right for you. Left foot to the sky. Let's bend that left knee. Let's place the left foot on the top of the right thigh. Again, you can kind of bounce out the left knee to the side just to open the hip. And then when you're ready, making sure the spine is nice and straight. So we lay down, but the spine is still nice and straight in alignment. And then we're dropping that right foot over, sorry, the left foot, because it's on the right, it looks like the right, the left foot over to the right. And again, if you want to make sure that you're in alignment, just grab that left foot and bring it a little bit closer to the right hip. So kind of walking up towards you, and push that left knee so it's closer towards the sky. So we don't really want the left knee towards the floor, towards kind of the right hip. We want to push it away so that we're opening up into that left hip. Close down the eyes and let the head fall over to the left this time. So imagine that left ear is glued to the ground. Continue with the three-way breath. And just notice what's different here. Everyone's got one side different than the other. We've all got a yin and a yang side. You've always heard the saying, oh, everyone's got one leg shorter than the other. Everyone's a bit lopsided. There is some truth in that, but there can sometimes be something the body's telling us that we're out of alignment in that case. So just notice what's happening down the left side of the body. Take a really deep inhale in, hold, and exhale. Just letting the body twist over to the right again, reminding ourselves that we're present. And this is your gentle reminder that we're not trying to empty our minds. The mind will never be empty of thoughts. But in yin yoga, we're just practicing our reaction to the thoughts. So don't try and get frustrated and block out any thoughts. Just gently see them as smoke or clouds. Just visualize them gently floating away. Take one more deep inhale, exhale. And then when you're ready, let's bring the head back first. Give the body and the spine a little moment just to align. And then when you're ready, bring the ankles together. And then bring the knees back up. Give yourself a hug. And then take any movement that's intuitive. So maybe some rocks side to side, maybe some circles of the knees, maybe a big stretch up. And then we're going to come to a comfortable seated position. So option to roll onto your side and push yourself up. Or option to maybe rock gently up, come into a comfortable seated position. So that might be cross-legged in what's known as easy pose. It might be sitting on the knees. It might be standing if you have a lot of energy, but ideally the next pose is done in seated position. If you're sitting on a mat and you've got any pain or discomfort in your hips, then just seeing if you can tuck your pelvis forward. So I'm going to take a jumper off so I can demonstrate. So placing your hands on your hips, and then you want to kind of tilt your tailbone out so the pelvis comes forward, almost as if you're kind of pushing your belly button forward and exposing the Buddha belly gut. So this lifts your coccyx off the ground and it tilts your pelvis forward. Gently placing the hands on the knees if you're in cross-legged position. If you're sitting on your knees, then maybe just placing your hands on your lap or your knees. And we're going to try and release into the shoulder blades. So especially at the moment with what's happening with COVID lockdown, there's a lot of this going on. We're doing a lot of rounding of the back. We're also carrying a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. Everyone in the world is. So there can be a lot of tension that builds up kind of around these areas. So we're going to do some nice poses to build a little bit of fire in that area. And this exhausts the muscles, not in a negative way, but just makes them stimulated enough so that they can get a deeper relaxation. So we're going to start by placing the left hand on the left knee. Palms are face down because we're going to be nice and grounded. And then this is going to be quite a slow pose. So just listen to the body and see how it feels. If you've got any shoulder injuries, just take it a little bit slow and just listen to the body. We're going to do some slow circling of the arms and the shoulders. So to start with, the right hand's going to come to the side of you, fingertips to the ground, and just make sure that the spine's nice and straight. So drop your shoulders away from your ears. Making sure there's a nice space in your chin and your chest. And then when you're ready, you can keep the eyes closed if you want to, or you can take your gaze gently to your right hand. You're going to bring your right hand in line with your shoulder. For now, I want you to look at your right hand with the eyes closed or shut. Just take your gaze over to the right. Start to notice any sensations in the right shoulder. So in yin, it might feel like we're not doing much. We're not in the yang energy mode. We're in the yin energy mode. So the body is quite still, but there's still a lot happening. And then when you're ready, we're going to very slowly, for the count of 3, take the hand up above the head. Nice and slow. Take your gaze up towards the sky and just pause there for a second. So a bit like the hands of a clock, we're going to take that right hand to the left. And then you're going to very slowly sweep it down to the ground. Sweep it past the right leg. And then up again. Up to the sky, down to the left. Raising the floor on the right knee. So we're going to do a full circle for the count of 6. So pausing at the top for a second, hand towards the sky. Make sure that the sitting bones are nice and heavy. So we don't want the right side of the body to be off the mat. We want both hips nice and heavy. And let's go for the count of 6. So we're going to start sweeping it round for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, sweeping it down. Remembering the breath. So I've not reminded you for a while. Just notice if you've lost the breath. Move the arm around in a nice slow circle as you continue to breathe in, hold, and release. And then I want you to let the hand be really intuitive. So maybe the hand wants to make smaller circles. Maybe the circles just want to stay around about the region of the shoulder. Or maybe they want to really sweep up, over, and round. Bringing your awareness to the shoulder, so you might start to feel a bit of fire in the shoulder, a little bit of burning, especially if you've already done exercise today. Try and breathe through it. Try and remind the body that this is a very restorative practice. And try and take the circles as slow as you can. So we're going to do 3 more circles. So up, breathe in, down, breathe out. Continue at your own pace. And then when you feel as if you've finished the last circle, gently bring the hands back to the knees, both palms on the knees facing down. When you close down your eyes, just bring your awareness to your right arm. So working with the meridian lines of the body, the energy lines. Just notice how the energy in that right arm feels. Quite burning for me, quite fiery, but also quite warm and tingly. Just compare that to the left arm. Notice any difference for you. Gently blink the eyes open. Place the right hand on the right knee, and this time the left hand's going to come to the left. And then to start with, just lift that left arm up so it's in shoulder height. Look down your left arm. Over your left fingers. You can close the eyes if that's better. Make the sitting bones nice and heavy. So for me, I have a tendency when I'm in seated position, it's kind of my legs are quite active, my hips are quite active. So it's a constant reminder for my hips to be heavy. So just notice if you're the same or if there's a particular part of your body you need to soften. And then when you're ready, take the hand up to the sky. If it feels right for the neck, just look up to the hand towards the sky. Continue to breathe in, hold, breathe out. And then when you're ready, let's draw them big circles. So this time the left hand's coming over to the right. And then we're going to sweep it down and up. Let's do that again for the count of 6. So wherever you are, drawing your circle for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, listen to the body. So maybe on this side, it might feel better to just do small circles. There's no right or wrong answer, other than just to listen to the body. And really start to bring your awareness to the shoulder blade, the rotator cuff, the forearm. It's quite natural to hear some clicks here. If the sound's good enough on this video, you probably hear clicks in my shoulders. If there's pain, then obviously clicking is not good, but usually clicking just means the body is clicking back into alignment. You've got a bit of fluidity in the joint, which is always beneficial. And then when you're ready, we're going to take 3 more big circles with the arms. When you feel as though you've done your last big circle, I want you to bring your hands to your knees, close down the eyes, and just bring your awareness to both arms this time. Notice that the energy matches. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. See if you can keep the eyes closed. And on the inhale, I want you to sweep your arms either side, up to the sky, hands meet above your head in prayer. And on the exhale, bring your hands down to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down. So really nice slow breaths with you in. See if you can go really slow as you inhale, reach up. As you exhale, come down. Again, any of them thoughts that pop up as you do this, they're never going to not pop up. It's our reaction that we're trying to work on. Just imagine the thoughts are like smoke from a candle or an incense stick. And bring your focus back to the breath and the movement. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. 2 more of these. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Keep your hands at prayer at heart center. Really push your thumb into into the chest bone. So the arms are nice and active. Push the hands into each other. And then you're going to interlink the fingers and turn them inside out away from you. So palms facing away from the body. And then on the inhale, you're going to take the arms to the sky. On the exhale, take them to the ground. The trick here is to keep the spine straight. So inhale to the sky, keep the spine nice and straight. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. This time, spread the hands. Let them fall either side of the body. And then just place the hands either side of the body to the ground, but just the fingertips. See if you can notice how straight you are. The back and the spine nice and long. And then gently place the hands back onto the knees. Taking a couple of hip circles. Just circling the body forward and round. We're going to come to a heart opener, which is going to be supported. So if you've got cushions or pillows, feel free to grab them now. So finishing the last hip circle or body circle when you're ready. If you've not got cushions, that's fine. You don't necessarily need them. But in a yin practice, cushions and pillows can be really useful. If you think of anything in life, the more supported we feel, the deeper we can feel connected, the more relaxed we are, and the better version of ourselves we can be. So it's pretty much the same ethos in yin yoga. If you've got more props, it just helps the body feel a little bit more supported. So if you've got pillows, then you can just line them up so that when we lie down, we're going to lie down on the pillows. If you've just got a cushion, maybe putting the cushion where you'll be lying down at the back of your heart space. So obviously the physical heart, the heart space in yoga is around the chest, but the front and the back as well. So placing the cushions and then see if you can walk yourself so that the lower back is at the base of the cushions. And then before we come to lay down position, you've got a couple of options with the legs. So option 1 is to keep the legs crossed. Option 2 is to straighten the legs. Option 3 is to butterfly the legs. So pick which works for you. I would say that probably the deeper pose is for butterfly legs. So butterfly legs is the soles down the spine, nice and relaxed. And walk yourself back so your spine either comes to the ground or comes on top of the cushions. So the idea here is that we're opening our heart up towards the chest. We're just going to shut the light down slightly for this one so it's a little bit more chilled. No, not. It's absolutely pitch black. So finding a place for your feet and your legs, leaning onto the cushions or the mat, and we're going to try and open the heart using the hands. So first thing we do is we make sure that the spine's nice and long. So draw the shoulders away from the ears. Find a place where your back feels fully supported. If you've got your legs crossed, then I'd recommend changing the legs, so if the left's in front of the right or vice versa, just change. We'll automatically go to the easier side, so trying to release tension from the other side. And then in the inhale, your hands up to the sky in a straight line above the face. Hold there as you take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to melt the elbows to the ground, and then you're going to cactus the arms out. So you've got a couple of options here. If it feels nice, you can put your hands behind your head, literally like you're sunbathing in the sun. You can cactus your arms so your elbows come to the ground in line with your shoulders and the hands just fall wherever they naturally fall. If that's not right for the shoulders, then just place the hands either side of the hips, with the palms facing up. Close down the eyes. And then wherever you are, I want you to start to bring your awareness to the shoulders. So all the muscles in the shoulders that we use all day, every day, all the connecting tissues and muscles and nerves to the back. Really softening in the shoulder blades in the middle of the back. Remembering the breath. It's easy to forget the breath because we know the body will do it all day, every day. The more we practice deep breaths, the more it becomes natural. So take a deep inhale, hold, exhale. As you take an inhale in, make sure you feel nice and present. As you hold the breath, make sure you remember the only moment to focus on is right here. And as you exhale out, just feel the body soften. Inhaling, hold, exhale. Continue with the breath at your own pace. So pick a number which suits you. You might want to inhale in for 3, hold, and then exhale. Maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6. The deeper you breathe, the deeper you'll get a sense of relaxation. The easier the thoughts will pass by. And the more oxygen we send to the internal organs and the muscles. As you breathe at a pace that suits you, just bring your awareness to the heart space. Maybe just noticing any blockages here. Any resistance to anger, fear. Any of the negative emotions that can stop us feeling as if our heart is open. Start to feel the shoulders really melt into the ground. Create a little bit more space into the chest. If the arms are in cactus, an option to just gently shift them up or down. Just changing the placement of the arms just very slightly. And just change the energy lines. And the flow of the blood and the energy. Remembering that the back is fully supported either by the earth or cushions. Either way, I want you to silently repeat to yourself in your mind, I am fully supported in this pose. Let the body be still. Give yourself permission to stop and restore. And bring to your awareness any of the negative energy you want to shed before you go to sleep this evening. See if you can let the body soften on the exhale. Start to notice any sensations in the front of the shoulders, around by the armpit, the top of the chest. Often we can hold a bit of tension here from using a laptop or computer all day. Take 2 more deep breaths in, hold, and exhale. And then when you finish your last exhale, gently reaching the hands up to the sky first of all. You're just going to circle the wrists, but you're going to circle them as slow as possible. Make the movement as graceful as you can. Imagine you're like a ballerina or an artist or a dancer. Really make slow circles and feel every bone muscle move in the wrists. Change direction. Feel them clicks and creaks. Nice and slow. And then when you're ready, I want you to put your right hand on your left shoulder and your left hand on your right shoulder. And see if you can let the arms kind of pass by each other so that ideally the elbows are on top of each other or in alignment. So as if your left hand is trying to grab for your right shoulder blade and your left hand is trying to grab for your right hand is trying to grab for your left shoulder blade. To confuse it even more, it's getting higgledy-piggledy. The idea here is that I want us to do the opposite of what we've just done. So in yoga, we do yin and yang, we do left side, right side, we do front and back. So we've just opened up into the heart with the supported cushions. And by crossing over the arms on the front of the chest, we're giving the back of the heart space a little bit of an opening. Close down the eyes if they've opened. Give yourself permission to be still. See if you can notice the heartbeat in the chest against the arms. Remember in the breath, 3 way. Inhale, hold, exhale. Just notice what we're doing here. The arms are crossed over the chest. The back of the shoulders are having an opening, back of the heart space. I think quite safe to say that not many people would ever spend time in this pose. It's not something that we do in daily life. But just notice any of the sensations in the muscles, the back, the shoulders. And then option to stay here if you're comfy, or option to lift the arms up and just change direction. So my right arm is on top and I'm just going to swap it over. Just enjoy a few moments with the opposite arm on top. This is a good time to bring your awareness back to your intention. So why did you come to the mat this evening? What did you bring here? What do you want to cultivate more of in your life? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to be more honest about? What pain do you want to let go of? Just quietly imagine yourself out of your mind, in your mind. Make sure the arms are nice and heavy. And just enjoy this pose for 2 more breaths. When you're ready, after the next exhale, gently reaching the arms up to the sky. Take a couple of circles with the wrists. And then if the legs are crossed, just gently uncrossing the legs first of all. Letting the hands fall either side of the body. And we're just going to windscreen wipe the knees. So the feet stay on the floor, but the knees go to the left and then the right. Then the left and then the right. Taking it a little bit slow this evening. Just windscreen the knees left and right. Left and right. Gently bring the knees back to center. Use the hands to push yourself back up onto the sitting bones. And we're going to finish with an inversion pose before we do relaxation. So option, if you're feeling nice and zen and ready to relax, you can come to Shavasana, corpse pose, and just lay back flat on your back. Otherwise, if you want to join me in one last inversion, you're going to use your cushions and pillows for this as much as you can. So we're going to come back to lying on our backs. But if you've got cushions, then you want to kind of prop them under the back of your thighs. So we're going to come to a supported bridge. So laying back down on the mat. If you can, you want to lift your sitting bones off the ground and just slide the cushions under the back of the hips. Equally, you can sit yourself onto the cushion and then lean back. whichever works for you. The idea here is that we want the pelvis and the reproductive organs, the digestive system, everything, all that's going on around this area, you want that very slightly lifted off the ground. So knees are going to be bent, and you've got options to keep your knees nice and in line with the hips, or you can walk the feet out away from each other and let the knees knock into the center line. Options again with the hands. So for bridge, the traditional arm position is the hands on the floor with the palms facing up. If you want to bring a bit of an arm twist into this as well, sorry, an arm stretch into this as well, you can take the arms out like a T. And what I quite like to do in an inverted supported bridge is take the hands above the head onto the mat with a bend in the elbow, just so you get a little bit of a deeper stretch into the arms. So making sure that your hips feel nice and supported. Even if you don't have a cushion, you can maybe just double roll your mat or prop a little cardigan or pillow, blanket under there. And then we're going to bring our awareness to the back of the hips. So hips are a place where we are known to hold emotion. Not intentionally, maybe not even consciously. All them little muscles in the hips, the groin, the digestive system, the reproductive organs, sexual organs, all them areas around there, the glutes, the hips, pelvis, really letting them relax into the ground and the cushions. And just starting to notice that the hips is ever so slightly higher than the heart. See if you can imagine that flow of energy from the hips all the way to the heart. Maybe noticing if any particular colour comes up here. And now we're in the pose. There's nothing to do but to stay completely still and breathe. Notice if you give yourself permission to be still, or whether it's quite difficult. Let the body soften with every exhale. And really try and feel the flow of the energy from the toes, up the legs, to the hips, up to the heart, as the heart starts to pump all this fresh energy, fresh oxygen, the deep belly breathing that we're doing with this three-way breath. A bit like if you can imagine when you put the hot tap on really high, really like a power pressure, throwing all the energy through the body, making sure that the energy lines, the meridian lines are nice and fluid. And at the same time as this, we're also giving the back a bit of a break, not in the literal sense, and giving it a bit of a rest from supporting the hips and the weight of the body all day. Just notice the weight of the back into the floor. And then if this feels enough for you this evening, then just enjoy this pose for a few more moments. If you want to take it slightly further, then you can gently bring the knees to the chest. You don't need to use the hands. You can if you need to. See if you can straighten the legs towards the sky and go for a full inversion. So the feet are to the sky, legs straight if you can. If not, then a gentle bend in the knee. And then option here to take the legs away from each other and then gently back. Just take nice slow movements and almost make them a little bit fluid and natural. Maybe flow your legs out and in. Maybe keep your knees to your chest. Whatever feels nice. Taking 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then wherever you are, you're going to hook your knees in towards your chest. Really give your knees a bit of a squeeze in towards the chest. And then rolling over onto your left side. See if you can just move them cushions away from the sitting bones. And then before we come to final relaxation, I want you to take whatever pose feels intuitive. It doesn't necessarily need to be a yoga pose. It might just be a full body stretch. Maybe you want to interlock the fingers, turn them inside out. Whatever it is that you feel you need to do, take that movement. The key with Shavasana is making sure that you're ready to completely let go. So whatever it is that you need to do, hit your head, whatever you need to do. And then when you're ready, you're going to set up for Shavasana. So you can use pillows and cushions here. In fact, I would highly recommend using them in Shavasana. The only couple of kind of warnings for that would be, if you're going to use a cushion behind the back of your head, make sure that your chin isn't too close to your chest. We don't want any pressure on the back of the neck, which can cause pressure on the vagus nerve, make us feel a bit sickly, and obviously be careful of the muscles in the neck. A couple of tips, what I would recommend from many a time in Shavasana. I quite like to put my legs on long pillows or cushions so that the legs are completely off the ground. Legs should always be wide in Shavasana, so never uncross the legs, feet falling out towards the side. Make sure that your shoulders are nice and away from the ears, so you can even walk the shoulders down away from the ears. Hands come near the side of the body, and wherever they naturally fall, just take them about 2 inches away from the body a little bit further. We always place the palms facing up in Shavasana. We always close the eyes, and we always let go. So we're going to completely let go of any awareness of the breath. We're going to prepare for Shavasana by taking any last minute adjustments that you need to. I'm going to talk you through a guided yoga nidra so we can set up for a nice, relaxed, deep sleep. So finding your Shavasana, take any adjustments that you need to. And then this evening, working with the concept that in this yoga practice, as a group, we're working with the ethos that we want to let go of any negative energy, let go of any frustration, any anxiety, any upset, any pressure to do well. And we're going to do that with some visualization this evening. So just taking a scan of the body from head to toe. As you mentally work your way down from your head all the way down, I want you to stop at a point of the body where you feel your body holds tension. So everybody is different, literally. Everybody's body is different. And we all hold tension in certain ways. Some people might have certain injuries, and that's where the tension tends to flare up. If this evening you can't particularly decide which part of the body is that you hold it, then I'd recommend that you come to just the area behind the navel, where the deep belly breath happens. And whatever part of the body that you're focusing on, I want you to imagine a nice, bright gold light being shone, I can't even talk, being shone right at that part of the body. So a nice bright light shining through. Start to feel a warm quality in that area. Start to imagine some heat, maybe some nice warm lavender oil. And then very slowly, I want you to imagine that bright light getting a little bit bigger. So whatever part of the body you're focusing on, taking that bright light from that part, so if it's behind your navel, your shoulder, your eyes, your head, throat, wherever it is, start to take your awareness from that part of the body, take it a little bit wider. Zooming out a little bit more, feeling that bright light, the warm energy of the body. Taking it at your own pace, but very slowly expanding that light from that small part of the body a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. Remembering them warm qualities, the heat, the fire, the warmth. Taking the focus out until eventually the whole body is covered with your visualization by this warm, bright, gold yellow light. And the idea of using visualization is we want to stimulate the sensation that the body is safe and well. So from the tips of your toes all the way up to the top of the head. Feeling a warm quality. If any particular colours come up, then just keeping them in mind. It can be quite representative of the chakras and any blockages. And then again, working with the concept of letting go. Just acknowledge that even if you're not quite sure of what it is that you need to let go of, to be a little bit more present. And everything you're doing this evening in the practice will bring you to that place of calm stillness. As we practice as a group, being able to just sit with that inner voice, the inner critique, which many of us have, the inner warrior. Feel the body in complete stillness. Feel the weight of the body in the ground. Start to connect back in with the breath. Start to deepen the inhale and deepen the exhale. As you deepen the inhale, feel the belly rise. As you exhale, feel the belly fall. Repeat to yourself silently in your mind. I give myself permission to stop, relax, and restore. Starting to notice any sounds in the room. Gently bring your awareness back by wiggling the fingers and toes. Option to finish in Shavasana where you are. Don't worry about saying goodbye, just stay nice and chilled if that's where you're in a seated position. Then gently rolling over onto one side, left or right. Use your hands to push yourself back up to a seated position. You've got a cushion, then just support the back of your pelvis by just putting the edge of the bum onto the cushion. Hands are going to come to the knees. And then when you're ready, just gently bring the awareness back to the room by taking a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Inhaling. Exhale, sigh. One more. Inhaling. Exhale, sigh. Gently bring the hands to the prayer at heart center. Gently taking your gaze down to your hands. Just acknowledge the fact that you took 60 minutes this evening to stop with stillness and breath. Reflecting back on your intention at the start of class. Notice if the body feels any different. Option to set yourself an intention going forward into the coming week, day or month. Gently take your hands to your third eye and your forehead. May you have kind thoughts about yourself and others. Gently bring your hands to your lips. May you have kind words for yourself and others. And gently bring your hands to your heart. May you and those around you be happy and healthy. The light in me sees and acknowledges the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bowing to each other, the practice, and to yourselves. Namaste. Namaste.